It's nice, isn't it?
It's a bit heavy.
So, have a seat, Temba. 9,722 days of waiting between South Africa's ICC trophies. I have a feeling in that final of the WTC, the wait in the dressing room felt a whole lot longer.
Yeah, there was, I guess, a lot of relief when we managed to go over the line. Firstly, good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, look, I mean, it's been a long time waiting for us as a country. I think it was 27 years before we were able to go over a final. So, I mean, there's been a lot of emotion, good emotion this time, not tears. And I think there's obviously a lot of confidence and good momentum back home in the country.
Across the age groups, across the genders, there's been a lot of reaching finals, a lot of reaching, the final four and then falling at the hurdle. How much of, is it a hurt, a pain, or a lesson that you carry forward into each final from there?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. Probably a lot more pain, a lot more heartache. But I think all that pain, all that bad emotion has been the fuel for us to keep going. I guess if there's one thing about the South Africans, we don't give back, we don't give up. We're always resilient, and we try to take whatever lessons were there from our close victories, from our defeats. But like I said, we were always determined to do things right.
You're still undefeated as Test captain, right?
Yes.
Still. I think that's a pretty good flex to have, Temba. That will be quite fantastic, actually.
Thank you.
It's a tough format. I'd love to continue this conversation. If I could request Kane Williamson to join us as well as we get into a bit of a fireside between, if you think about it, 2 of the 3 WTC winning captains. We'll just get a mic for you as well, Kane. So 2 of the 3 WTC winning captains. I think we should start a WhatsApp group with the 3rd one. What do you think? What would you name it? What would the conversation be?
You're the most recent winner, so you get to name it.
I'm still getting used to it.
Sorry?
I'm still getting used to it.
Well, personally, just talking not about leadership, but it's also about the grit and setting examples. So Temba, I go back to that final because for you personally, you were battling through injury. There's a lot going on and you still showed so much determination and courage in that situation. So many things going on, but personally, when you feel like your body is almost giving up on you, how did you manage that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my fair share of injuries over the last while, so I guess it was nothing different from within that game, but obviously the context of the game, I think where the game was as well, it was obviously we were in a delicate position, having a score to chase down, being one of the senior batters within the team, being the leader of the team. You want to make sure that in those situations that you are leading the team to where you want to be. So, yeah, when my hammy went, I guess there was always this decision to kind of walk off and let the other guys do the job. But like I said, you want to be the guy that takes it to the end. Aiden and I, we had the sense that that's where the game was, in our partnership with us. And I think for me, in whatever physical state that I was in, it was to try to support him as much as I could. He was obviously seeing the ball, moving well, hitting the ball nicely. I think for me, it was just to make sure that I'm there with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I took the decision, the brave decision. Sometimes you have to be brave in those pressure situations. And I'm glad that time I had the presence of mind to take the harder decision.
That's a great way of putting it, actually, Kane. If I talk to you about what you think a brave decision has been in your leadership, and it maybe comes to you personally as well?
Not as brave as Temba. Hard to remember, actually. I haven't captained the team for a couple of years now, but I mean, you're always having to be faced with challenging decisions in those leadership roles. But I was fortunate to watch a little bit of the Test Championship final in the stands, actually, and it was an amazing occasion to see that perspective and see such a fantastic crowd, and obviously an amazing result for South Africa. So a great moment in their cricketing history, and hopefully the next couple of years are really positive for everybody's Test cricket and make way for a really competitive, I guess you call it a 2-year tournament.
That's it. It's a really long cycle if you think about it. 2 years, a lot can happen in 2 years. For you, leading to that final, Temba, it was 7 consecutive victories. It's hard sometimes to keep that tempo going, and yet you managed to do it, not to take your foot off the pedal.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways as a team we kind of surprised ourselves, to be honest. I think, as much it's a 2-year tournament, like Kane puts it. You kind of take it series by series, and I think with us, every time we had a series, whether it was the West Indies, whether it was Sri Lanka, we try to take it as it comes, and then obviously when you see yourself winning, the momentum kind of develops, the confidence grows, and then I think we got to a point where our belief was all 15 of us in the squad. We believed that we could go the whole way. So we never thought about winning 7 games in a row. We just tried to take it game by game. But we obviously felt we fed off the confidence and belief that grew amongst the group.
Well, speaking of phenomenal victories, Kane, coming to New Zealand's result in India, 3-0 whitewash, that was extraordinarily understanding the conditions, outplaying home conditions compared to what was the home side. Talk us through that entire series and your biggest takeaway from it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest challenges in our game and probably in world sport is coming over here or playing away from home, but certainly coming to a place like India against such an incredibly strong side in conditions that are quite different to the ones that we have back home, and the team that went over there and performed the way they did was really quite special and incredible in a lot of ways, and for us as a cricketing nation would go down as probably our greatest achievement to date. I mean, the World Test Championship Final is extremely special, but certainly sits very, very close to that. And to do it, in a 3 Test match series as well, something that we don't always get the opportunity to play in, certainly added to that occasion. So to come here in such a cricket-rich country who are always setting the benchmark for performance like India and perform the way the team did was amazing.
Well, Temba's team is coming here shortly. Care to share any tips?
I think it's
or maybe not.
It's a great question for my teammate Matt Henry, who was a big part of that victory. I mean, look, clearly no teams have been able to do that, which does suggest, we've been here a number of times and it's certainly been quite different in the win-loss column. So, it is a tough challenge, but exciting as well. You sort of got a great opportunity in front of you, which Temba knows. He's been here before as well, and the challenge is fierce, but it's a great place to test yourself against the best.
That's what, Temba, in this WTC cycle, there are 2 subcontinental tours that are coming for you in India and Pakistan as well. Again, you understand the conditions as well, but when you're planning as a team in a cycle, how do you approach the series?
So, if I look at the test cycle, we've got 3 subcontinental tours. We've got Sri Lanka as well, which is quite a challenge as well, especially if you haven't been there before. Our first assignment is Pakistan. We play in Pakistan, so we've got guys who've been there, so at least they'll be familiar. They'll be able to share whatever information that is there. But really, you can do all the preparation that you do, but the true test is when you're out there in the middle and how you manage whatever challenge and emotions that come with that. And I think, there's a lot of satisfaction that we get as international sportsmen when we see ourselves succeed, having to deal with all of that. So, yeah, I think Pakistan will be where our mind is at, deal with that challenge, and then come to India and put our best foot forward there.
We always have the highest regard for players that target all formats, particularly ones that, continue to take Test cricket very seriously when the others can be very competitive. So I'd love to know both of your opinions in competing in something like a WTC cycle, what it sets up in terms of not just, wanting to get the WCA trophy, but what it does for the next generation of Test cricketers coming through.
I think for back home, if I could answer first, it's inspiring. I think obviously T20 cricket has taken off at the rate that it has, and a lot of players are making decisions in terms of their futures to go that route, and understandably so. but coming back home, listening to the guys speak, you know, your guys are considered your T20 connoisseurs. You know, everyone is as excited as the guys who are within Test cricket. We have Quinton de Kock as well. He's come back as well. So a lot of us guys who grew up with him, we're very much excited that he's back. But I think it shows how there's that excitement and massive appetite again back home to really pour into Test cricket.
Kane, your thoughts on a competition like a WTC and what it does for Test cricket?
Yeah, I think it's been a step in the right direction. There's still things to work through. Obviously, it's really skewed in the number of games teams play, which is going to just be a challenge because of the schedule and all the cricket that's trying to fit into it. But you're having that context, it's been great. There's a lot more results. Teams are pushing for that. They all want to be in the final and have the opportunity to win it, so that's absolutely there. But, you know, the pathways in the Test game are definitely challenged in other countries around the world, certainly our countries, you know, where young players growing up, you know, what they're aspiring to play is slightly different than when we were a little bit younger. So there are challenges there, and certainly hope that the Test game is still preserved and a priority for players. You know, maybe not for everybody, but certainly something to aspire to still play around the world.
Absolutely. A huge thank you to Kane Williamson and Temba Bavuma, and congratulations for an extraordinary WTC final. Thank you, gentlemen.